Blackbird, actually. I was watching that episode when they proposed to him that, he goes inside as pretty much as a op. He's going in as a snitch. Yeah, he's going in as a snitch. This character is James Keene, right?
That's it, Jimmy Keene.
Jimmy Keene.
I gotta say, you walk into this studio, it's just got the best energy to walk into. Everyone, it just feels like it's such a positive vibe in here. You can hear it from outside.
Tried.
It's like, when you're outside in the corridor, it's like a party that you want to be invited to.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
You've never really had a clique either, right? You've always been a lone wolf?
Yeah, no, not really. What you mean, like walk around with like an entourage?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my publicist down there, and I've got my best friend who's my assistant. I like to keep it low key,
Oh, you like to keep it low key.
As low key as I can.
Last time you came in here, you walked in with Jamie Foxx. How low key can you get?
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody looks low key when they're stood with Jamie Foxx. So.
Man, please welcome him back. Torch, give him a big round of applause. Taron Egerton is here.
Hey! What up, Taron?
Thank you.
Hey, T, you've done a lot since you came in here with Jamie Foxx, man. You've been really working really
Did
hard.
I came in for Robin Hood. I must have. I was with Jamie, so it would have been Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So the big thing was I did the Elton John show, the musical, The Rocket Man.
You got an award for that one?
Did I get an award?
Yeah.
I got a Golden Globe.
Yeah, there you go, baby. Why you trying to act like it ain't?
Light work, Sway. Light work. He said light work,
How you
Sway.
forget that?
I did that thing,
You're making me blush.
Easy money, Sway. Easy money.
Let's talk, okay?
Thank you.
You grew up loving acting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've heard you say this. Just feel like acting, singing, these are different ways of expression.
Yeah.
Right? You love acting as much as you like socializing. But when you get acknowledged and almost validated in some sense by one of these big-ass awards, man, come on, bro. That didn't blow your mind? Did your family react to that? Or?
Yeah. And, of course, and I'm not trying to downplay it. It was a huge thing in my life, but just, I don't know. I don't want to, I guess I just want to try and be, I'm low key.
Let us talk shit for you.
Yeah. Right.
All right. This man won a Golden Globe Award. He's been Grammy nominated. He's done a whole lot.
I see him en route to getting an EGOT.
You think he could get an EGOT?
I do.
I should come on this show more.
Good for the soul, good for the ego.
I like it, man.
Thank you.
But how does it feel like after the award? Do you feel like you got to sustain a certain level of performance? Or?
Do you know what that job was? That was a special job for me because it was 2 years of my life, and because I was involved in making the music, I was in studio before, I was in studio after, and I've always done a little bit of singing, but not at that level. Recording at Abbey Road with, legends. Like there was a day where we were recording, and Giles Martin, who produced all the music, his dad was George Martin, who was the fifth Beatle. We're in studio, we're just recording. I walk in there, and he's with half of Chic.
Damn.
Nile Rodgers?
No, I wasn't in there.
Okay.
I'm terrible. I forget the name, but his drummer and his bassist are in there. Lovely guys. And they go, hey, do you want to jam with us, So all of a sudden, I'm singing Take Me to the Pilot with half of Chic. And that's like one day in the 2 years of making that show. So it was an incredible, incredible episode of my life. And the Golden Globe was lovely because it was like, it just felt like I had a little physical manifestation of what a great chapter in my life that had been. So it was amazing. But there was a come down, afterwards, there was a moment of going, what the hell am I going to do now?
You had that crash.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then it was only when, obviously shortly after that, the world stopped, early 2020.
Yep.
And then it was around a year after that. No, it's about 6 months after that I got Blackbird landed in my lap. I got sent these scripts, and I read the first episode, and I was like, "This is it. This is my next move." Because I
read it. I saw every episode.
You've seen every episode.
I'm mad.
So nice.
I was telling them I'm mad because they do it weekly. They don't give you the whole season.
That's the best way. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the binging. No, I'm not into that.
I think it makes everything feel a bit disposable. It's nice to give something a bit of air around it for you to appreciate it, maybe think about it.
Okay.
And certainly with a show like Blackbird, because it is, you've been so sweet about it, but it's how I felt when I read the script. It's so compelling, it's so engaging. You need a little bit of time to think about what's going on, because there's a question around whether this guy, he's a serial confessor. Larry Hall was a serial confessor. So there's a question around whether he actually did these things or whether he's just a narcissist who likes the attention.
Right.
So it's nice to have a little bit of time after each episode to sort of figure out what he said and think it through. But I understand. I think it's testament to the show that you want to binge.
Oh, man, I want to binge. And just without giving a spoiler, this character, Larry Hall, was accused of some heinous crimes.
The worst crimes.
The worst crimes that you could, in my opinion, that can be committed. And he's been investigated a few times, and he was able to slip through investigations. We don't know if the dude is guilty or not at this point, but the man who plays Larry Hall, Paul Walter
Hauser, amazing actor, yeah.
That guy right there, he's going to get nominated off of this.
Oh,
sure.
Surely, yeah.
But my question to you, too, is we had a chance to have the amazing, incomparable Ray Liotta on our show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man. Ray came up here, man, and we had such an incredible time. Man, dude, he did the Mafia laugh.
I know. All of that. Yeah. That was uncanny. That was so good. Yeah.
Thank you. He did the Mafia laugh and the whole nine, and he plays Big Jimmy. He plays your father.
He plays my father, yeah.
What was that like going opposite Ray, man?
It was actually kind of like a really profound experience for me. I've told this story a little bit, but it's worth retelling because it was like a real moment for me. But when I was so excited to be on set with Ray. You guys have met him. He's just got this amazing energy. But I stepped on set, and he was very in his own world. It was like an intense scene. He's visiting me in the prison. And so I was sort of feeling like, well, I'll give him his space. I won't, kind of intrude, stay a little way away from him. And he just kind of looks up and catches my eye. And he doesn't say anything, but he just stands up, he just walks over to me, and he just gives me this hug. And we just sort of stand there for like what felt like a really long time. And I was sort of like, what's going on? And I just said quietly to him, hey, I'm really glad we're doing this. And he just went, me too. And that's all he said to me for the first day. And then as time went on, we kind of got, chatting and opened up to each other. But I think he's so invested in his craft. He was so invested in his craft that he did not want us to be colleagues. He wanted us to be father and son.
Wow.
And that's how he wanted us to interact.
Wow.
And we went on this amazing journey together. And I know you said you've just seen 3, and that episode, which just came out this last Friday, it's dedicated to the memory of Ray.
I saw that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, he features heavily in it.
Yeah.
But the show is so dark, and the characters, including my own, are not that likable a lot of the time. Most of the characters in it have got a strong vein of misogyny that runs through them. But the show has a heart in the relationship with Ray, because the journey my character goes on to try and get out of that hellhole is because he wants to get out to be with his father who's unwell. And obviously, in light of Ray's recent passing, it takes on like a really weird meta quality as you're watching it, because you are watching a guy who's near the end of his life play a guy who's near the end of his life, and it just has this profound vibe, I think.
That's what I was thinking, because his character has a time limit. Because he just had, he goes through a medical difficulty. I'm not trying to. I'm worse with spoilers.
It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool. I think it's fine to say that he has a stroke early on in the show, and his health and his future is in question because of it. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because these characters are so dark, and we were kind of talking about Paul Walter playing Larry Hall, and even yourself, because you guys actually filmed this in a prison, right?
We shot in a real prison in New Orleans last summer. Yeah. So it was. I mean, it puts it in perspective, man. Like what prisoners have to live through, especially in a southern state like that where it's so hot at that time of year.
Yeah, but I think them laws are really crazy. Them segregated laws in prison and all that shit. Yeah.
But I mean, I think it gives the show a vibe. It's like you can feel when it's a location rather than a set. And it is, in our show, Springfield, the high security prison where Larry is, it needs to feel like a hellish place, and I don't know that you can create that on a set. It needs that grit of a real space.
Let me ask you this. By the way, Taron is an executive producer of this, by
Let's
the way.
go.
This guy's an EP now. Before he came here, he was just begging for parts.
Shut up, Sway.
Now he's giving parts,
That's
right?
dope.
I'm gonna let everybody jump in. I got, I've watched this, so you can tell when I'm excited about stuff.
Shady.
Very obvious.
It's a whole different interview, trust me. All right,
appreciate that.
but they're all good. I like to think. I am a part of an organization. I'm a board member of this organization called The Last Mile, and we teach inmates how to code.
Right.
So we have yes.
So that when they get out, that they can have a shot at regenerating their life, and great. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And the recidivism rate is 0%. So anybody who's come through our program have never gone back to prison.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yes.
Wow,
this
that's
in
a stat.
the years
That is
it's
a
been
stat.
happening. Yes. MC Hammer is somebody who brought me in, a guy named Chris Redless, a guy named Jason, different folks. But anytime I went to the prison, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. My saving grace is knowing that I could leave.
Yeah.
But when you in there, you're in there.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time because it's a real prison. When the gates in our show, when the cell doors shut, that's because they've rigged there's not like a guy.
It's a timer.
Closing it. They push a button and you are locked in there. And I remember the first time I went in, and they shut that thing. It was like it sent chills up my spine. It's, as you say there, but for the grace of God, go I. I mean,
you got to leave now. It's hard. I remember I used to take a day, like I didn't want to talk to people. I wanted to decompress, just kind of cleanse. Like prison is horrible. Yeah, like it's inhumane. It's where hard. It's like a cow shoot. You know what I mean? And you're told what to do, and then people are going bonkers in there. It's not meant for us to be locked up. How did you decompress? And how did, like Paul, who played Larry Hall, how do these roles affect you? How did you get out of this role of this?
I mean, I think, as you say, it is so dark. And as the episodes wear on, it becomes like a conversation between two guys. And the subjects of those conversations are the worst things you can imagine, And Paul and I, it took a toll on both of us in different ways. I mean, I can speak about, Paul's spoken about this publicly, so I feel comfortable saying it, but he's since gotten sober. When Paul and I got to New Orleans to shoot the show, he wasn't sober. He was drinking, and he went through a kind of transformative experience playing that character, I think, and it did take a toll on him. But you know what we ended up doing was like stupid stuff. Like we'd get together on a Friday night when it all was said and done, and we'd go, "Hey man, should we go and order takeout and watch Babe?" Like and like something that just felt innocent and pure and not like
you didn't want to get
evil.
Nothing triggered.
No, exactly, yeah. But it's it was of anything I have ever done, I've never felt like I need to shower afterwards.
Wow.
Like I felt unclean from it.
So then, Taron, what attracts you to that type of like shadowy side, and what do you think makes us all watch it?
I don't know. The second part, the first part is I think I was drawn to it because I feel like in a business-minded way, the roles that I've played, whether it be in Kingsman or Elton John or Eddie the Eagle or whatever, they're all like really likable and in danger of being like quite cute, I suppose. This part is not cute. Like he's edgy and he's gnarly, and when you first meet him, you can sort of ask yourself, do I like this guy? So for me, that was an appealing element. In terms of why we're drawn to these stories. I think it's interesting, man. Is there catharsis in it? Do we feel we learn something about our darker nature and kind of like exorcise it? But it's hard. It's a hard one. What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of that. I think that we're also very voyeuristic, either by nature or by nurture. You know what I mean? Maybe in some ways too, it's a bit of a comparison game where you don't have to feel bad about yourself because there's always someone who's worse than you, quote unquote. Yeah,
I think that's a good point.
Good response.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I want to know, like, so you mentioned about what we're drawn into. Who, like, British actors fascinate me because I can hear them speak in a American voice, and I can never tell that they're British. but like British actors hear Americans try to use a British accent and like they suck. Like Americans, who did you draw into, or who did you look and say, I need like a New York accent? Like who did you study, or I need to sound like somebody?
I didn't listen to actors. I listened to sound bites of like people who speak in that dialect.
Oh, okay.
You know, like little sound bites of ordinary like working people at, you know, like, and like especially 90s clips, because what you find is that like the way someone speaks like an authentic New York or Chicago sound, it depends on which little area of that city you're from, what age you are,
Right.
what gender you are actually as well, what ethnicity you are. It all contributes to the sound. So for me, rather than listen to an actor have a go, I thought we'll go straight to the source and find clips of. And I had like a coach, an American guy who lives in London, because he married a Brit, and he worked with me to develop that sound.
Wow.
American boy in London.
Exactly.
American boy. Shout out to Estelle.
Gotta shout out Estelle. Why not?
Taron was like, stop singing.
I'll show you how to hold some notes, guys.
Taron's a singer.
Yes.
I know.
Hey, I sang on this. I know you guys often get people to do bars on this show, and I was like, no, there's no way I can do
Throw
that.
a beat on, Torch.
No way.
That's not gonna harmonize it.
You threw it on, man. You mentioned it.
Come on, Taron.
No, I can't.
No.
Hey.
I'll never recover. I'll never recover.
I thought he was gonna sing.
No.
You wanna sing?
No,
Sing.
I can't.
I'm over it.
What do I sing?
Just whatever comes to mind, man.
Whatever's around you.
Oh.
Just sing your observation.
I can't.
We almost got him.
I'm sorry, guys.
American actors, British accents sucks.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I was gonna start some trouble with some
Do you
bars.
know, I want like a big part of me wants to do it, but I also know that I won't sleep tonight if I do that. And I
Let me
need
tell
to be
you
able to
something,
sleep.
man. You gotta face your fears.
You gotta face your fears. Do you know what? Next time I come on, maybe I'll have something
No,
prepared.
maybe it's just an operative word that means nothing.
Yeah.
Commit.
American
Commit.
actors, British accents suck. I'll be listening to them and I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? Go.
Yeah. See, I don't have that bit of my brain wired up. Anyway, change the subject, Taron. Come on, quick. Anyway, my show is airing now on Apple TV Plus.
All right, Blackbird, he got out of it.
Blackbird.
I was on the internet and people were in a frenzy. Well, hold on. Let me let Mike Muse get his question in. I'm sorry, Mike.
Sorry.
Taron got me fired up.
No, you guys are having a really great time.
Okay. We want you to have a great time.
Oh, I
with
am.
us. Okay.
Make it inclusive. Having a conversation. You struck me when you said something about you and Ray Liotta had a very father-son dynamic. When he hugged you, that was his way, almost method acting to get into the father-son dynamic.
It felt that way.
We've been hearing that a lot lately in terms of actors on films, and particularly this last Oscar season where a character stayed in to their character the entire time, off the set throughout the entire year of filming. I'm thinking about one movie in particular. How were you and him able to stay? Did you guys stay in that father-son dynamic? And then how did that work? Because that's more of an interesting dynamic, as father and son equates to emotion and love.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how did that work?
So I feel like it's not that all of a sudden we're discussing what the characters had for breakfast, where you're going, hey, Dad, what did you, do you know what I mean? So it's more that I felt our relationship took on a very intense familial quality immediately. He and I just were very, very open with each other. And, Ray is, you guys, like, he's a tough guy. And so when I met him, I thought, I wonder if he's going to accept me as this sort of, like Chicagoan drug dealer. Is he going to think I'm the right guy for it? But he was we just connected in this way where it just felt like we'd known each other for a very long time. And I felt like a love from him. And when we finished the shoot, I saw the show maybe February, March, something like that. And I texted him and said, your performance in this show is beautiful, in my opinion. And I hope you feel good about it. And all he texted me back was, you made it easy to love my son.
Oh my God!
Wow.
And it was like I can't really explain the relationship, but I feel like you get a sense of it from that. We felt very connected. So when the cameras rolled, it wasn't like we didn't have to generate anything. It just felt like we had this vibe. Anyway,
let's let that breathe for a second, man. Ray Liotta, man. Shout out to Ray, man.
Yeah.
Give Ray a big round of applause, man. He came out here, came on this show and
Had
charmed
fun.
the shit
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we had
laughed the whole time.
Every
bro.
time.
He's amazing.
Man.
Amazing.
Before you go, congratulations on Blackbird. Citizens, I want to recommend you watch this. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's called Blackbird. Man, I'm the only thing that upsets me about this series is I gotta wait till next week to see the newest episode.
Delayed gratification,
oh my
baby.
gosh,
Embrace
it.
it.
And I hate when it ends.
It's healthy for you.
It's one of those shows. You're doing great, man. You're doing really great. I'm gonna ask you a question that has nothing to do with Blackbird. It has to do with what's been going on, a frenzy on the internet about the possibilities of you playing Wolverine.
Look, I mean, I made the mistake of saying that I had a general meeting at Marvel around 4 years ago, which is true, but it got kind of spun and twisted into this thing. So I'm now at a point where, because look, I've always said I don't know if I'm the right guy to play that part. I was with Hugh yesterday briefly, who played the role originally, and we're such different vibes. I don't know if I would be the right person to follow him, but I've always said I'd be open to it. But at the moment, there's no truth other than the fan casting thing, which goes kind of crazy every time I mention it. But who knows?
You got to have a right kind of Wolverine body to play that role, though, dog.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. I mean, I did some work for Blackbird.
Yeah.
But
I saw you were kind of cut up. I saw you.
You hating, Sway. That's a hate, Terry. Don't listen to that.
It all gone so well, and we're going to end on that note.
Damn, Sway.
All that love, all interview, all that love, and then just a little slap at the end. Just a little slap.
That's the little brother. That's how I bully. That's my way of bullying you, man. No, you looked amazing in Blackbird. I remember looking like that in my life. Did you almost get Cyclops though? Is that true?
I don't mind saying that was a real thing. There was a real conversation, and to be honest, I've never said this actually. To be honest, the reason that conversation never went any further is because I didn't want to play a character for a potential of a series of movies where you don't see my eyes. For me, I felt instinctively, creatively, that like the eyes are the windows to the soul. I don't know how I would find that challenging, and I just didn't find it an intriguing prospect. So it's not that they ever offered it to me, but there was a real conversation that never went any further.
Wow.
I respect. Give this
Me
man a
too.
round of applause. I respect your integrity.
Be true to thyself.
Your
Come on.
authenticity.
Yeah.
Your realness. I respect it. I will watch anything you are a part of because of that. And if it does well or not, doesn't matter to me.
Thank you.
Okay, it's all about the performance, right? And I can see you're that type of actor as well. Upset as well, like
Like you in it.
You got a couple things.
but Taron Egerton, thank you for coming back, brother.
Thank you.
Man,
pleasure.
absolutely, man, great
Wonderful.
conversation.
Thank you,
And
Taron.
he said he's gonna bless the mic when he come back next time. Y'all heard him.
Next time. He's gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready.
Many witnesses.
Okay, make sure you watch Blackbird. It's on. You ready now?
No.
Okay, all right. I think he said okay. All right. On Apple TV Plus, Blackbird is available now. Watch it, and you can see this executive producer and the star of
Let's
it.
go.
Taron Egerton. All right. Hey, man, appreciate you, brother.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day. All
Thank
right.
you.
We got
Thank you, all of
Celebrity
you.
Wire
Thank
up
you.
next.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do. And somebody's being accused of dating and abusing their nephew.